This is the wall inspection. What we're looking for is cracks in the walls. And what they indicate, cracks in the walls, are movement in the foundation. We got a crack here. It's a differential fracture. What is actually happening is the front and the rear of the building are moving relative to each other, and it causes the bricks to crack there. Now this is very common in Texas because of our expansive soils, and it's not something to really get worried about until the cracks get to the size that you can put your finger in them. Then you start to get really worried. And so far on the right elevation there are no such cracks. They're just simple fractures caused by slight common settlement. Now let's have a look at the front elevation now. We can't see much here because we're covered up by bushes, and the window that seems to be okay. And if there's going to be movement, it often shows up around doors in the front of the house. That's all looking good, but you can see here there's been a bit of movement here, so there's signs of common settlement. I'd say it's probably due to the very dry conditions we've had in recent times. The last summer has been very dry, and the foundation dries out, and as the foundation dries out it causes the foundation to sink. Here we go, we have a differential crack running down here. Okay, let's go and look at the left elevation. Now at the left elevation of the house, and again we have a settlement crack here. See, it's running up the wall, and it should run up the wall until it reaches, here we go, reaches the top. That's normally what happens. This one's only to about here, and that can easily be cured by irrigating around the foundation to moisten the soil. Now this crack is very new. I can tell you it's very new because it's got sharp edges. It's not been worn by the weather, and there's no debris in it. You can see down here. So just a bit of common settlement caused by the dry weather conditions we're having. Again, we got a crack here. It's running down all the way down to the wall. The solution here would be to put an expansion joint in. That would help a great deal. And we have another crack running up here, up the wall. So the house is settling differentially between rear and front elevations. Let's go and have a look at the rear elevation itself. We're at the garage. That's all pretty okay. Now we're at the front. No, the rear, sorry. Yeah, small settlement crack here. And we're back to where we started. So, on the day of the inspection, there's evidence of common settlement, but nothing to be concerned about. And if you do have concerns, you could consult a structural engineer. They'll give you an opinion as to the condition. The house, there's various siding. Here we've got some siding. It's actually on the chimney. It's been a repair here, and you can see that the wood is actually rotten. So this needs to be replaced. Just a bit of repair on the trim work. Caulking up here. Other than that, that wall is looking good. And you've got a little bit of caulking needed here. Now that's repeated on the siding around the house, so there's a little bit of tender love and care required to improve the condition of the property going forward. Finally, in my analysis to discover whether the building is settling substantially, I'm going to look at the inside walls and the ceilings with respect to finding cracks that indicate foundation movement. And we're at the front window here, it's fine. Cracks, as they do appear, will appear at the corner of the ceiling and the wall, and around windows in areas like this. And there's no real cracking there. Let's go into here. Now, this window's at the rear and there's no real movement at the rear elevation, so we're good. Let's go and look at the master. That's all looking good so far. Have a look in the master bathroom. There's no windows, there's no cracking. No cracking around tile work. Cabinetry doesn't seem to be moving from the walls. These are all signs that there are movement, and there's not. And in the closet. So we'll be okay in the closet. Okay. Let's go and have a look at the condition of the walls up. This is the upstairs of the property, and you can see we haven't got any cracks around the windows here or in the ceilings. No, that's all looking very good. Okay. So on the day of the inspection, all the walls around the building didn't show any signs of substantial subsidence and settlement. There are no internal cracks around doors and windows, so I'd say that this building is pretty stable on its foundation. That's of course in my opinion. And if you want to have a bit of a more expert look at it, you can ask the structural engineer to come in, and he'll go over and use his experience and knowledge to help you. Around some of the windows there's evidence of fogging. You can see here this watermark. Actually in the window itself, it's on the inside, and indicates that under certain conditions water in between water in the air in between the window panes condenses onto the window, and you get water in there. It's very common. It's called fogging, and there are a number of windows where it occurs. On that window there in the back bedroom, and also on the windows at the front. It's not extensive, but it is common, and almost all properties of this age that I come across have fogged windows. The windows around the house where the caulking is deteriorating needs to be repaired. See here the caulking's coming away. It's going to allow water to get in between the walls and cause damage. Caulking in this condition is not uncommon. It doesn't last very long in Texas because of the very hot sun. It bakes and destroys the caulking in 2 to 3 years. The gap between the balustrades is too large. You can see here that we've got a span of about 6 inches or more. Really 4 inches, about the width of my fist. Okay, should be the maximum spacing between of these all the way up. Very common on property, easily solved. You just put another balustrade in here if you wish, but it's something you should be aware of. This is inside of the breaker box. This is the 2 hots, neutral here, and neutral and ground are bonded. There's no double tapping, the wire sizes are correct. Here we've got a cable. It's obviously been wired in at some point into the house, and it's been cut off. Now although that's probably not live, that should be capped. Other than that, everything looks okay inside the box. We're at the rear elevation, inside the garage. You can see the conduit here is disconnected. That needs to be reconnected to protect the cables within it. Other than that, it's all secure.